Yeah, hi everybody, and welcome to Ireland. We're still the most indebted nation in the world, as you know. It's Friday the 18th, and it's just around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. There's just two things I'd like to touch on today. I want to really go on a little bit about the NAMA thing. I know we've gone on about it, but it will dominate our lives for such a long period of time, and it's of such importance. And it hasn't been enacted into law as such. They're actually discussing it as we speak in the Dáil. And Lenihan, Brian Lenihan, our finance minister, introduced it into the Dáil yesterday. And one of the things that I often wonder about the TDs that are in the Dáil and about the people in the Dáil, do they ever think about what they're actually going to say? I mean, one of the things that has intrigued me about this thing, which is a huge sum of money, we are going to get from the ECB, from the European Central Bank, they are going to loan us the bulk of this money, this 54 billion. All right, and we're going to give that out to 5 banks. Now, what I want to know is who's going to pay the interest on that? The interest on that is it's an interbank charge, so it's going to be 1.5%. So say it's going to cost 1.5%. And it's going to cost, say, to administer every year 0.5 of a billion, 500 million. It probably won't, but say it does, just to round it off easy. That's going to make it 2%. People may say, oh, what is he talking about, administering fees? We have a whole NAMA infrastructure. This is all jobs for the boys. Dr. Peter Bacon and Dr. Alan Ahern and all these boys, they don't work for £1,000 a week, you know, or €500 a week. They're all on £5,000 a week, minimum. And we must remember, the average civil servant wage in this country is 20% more than the private sector equivalent. Must never forget that. More jobs for the boys. Cute-hairism, cheap cronyism. Anyway, to get back to the thing, no one in the Dáil said yesterday, hold on a minute, you're talking about a time scale of 10 years, a time frame of 10 years for this NAMA affair to work itself through. 10 years, even at 2%, is 20%. 10 years, 2% is 20%. And even if we don't utilize it in that manner, even if we take it in a simplistic, let's say they start getting rid, although they say they're not, they say they're going to hold these loans for 10 years. So what I'm saying in the first place is correct. It will be 20%. 20% of 54 billion is another 11 billion. It's 10.8 billion. Where's that going to come from? I know where it's going to come from. You. That's where it's going to come from. Anyway, I just want to go back to a thing that we talked about earlier. And what it's about is, I'm going to put it up on the screen for you so you can have a look at it. It's basically this man here. Okay. And these two men. And you probably know who these two men are. This is the Taoiseach, Brian Cowen, and that is the chairman, the ex-chairman of Anglo-Irish Bank, Sean Fitzpatrick. And they're connected, both of them are connected closely, very closely, to this man. This man is Brian Cowen's best friend. That's his name up there. By the way, this is from the Phoenix magazine, February the 13th, 2009. So Brian Cowen is this man's best friend. Okay? And another great friend of this man is this man here. And they're big friends through property developments that they've engaged in, which this article all explains. Now, I'm not selling the Phoenix. I'm just using this because the photographs were in it. If you want to read the article, I've put it up for you, but you can have a read of it. I'm not selling the Phoenix or doing some sort of marketing ploy for the Phoenix. It's just to give you some sort of background. And about the fact that our Taoiseach, how would you like it if somebody in RTE, which is not going to happen, or one of the media outlets asked our Taoiseach, what is our Taoiseach here, what is your relationship with this man, and what's his relationship with this man, because we've just given his bank the okay for 28 billion euros. Of the 54 billion euros that we're going to pump into these 5 banks, the one that we had to nationalise is Sean Fitzpatrick's bank. And your best friend is up to here in property developments with him. Anyway, it's just a reflection of our little country and the people that run it. And these people don't seem to have any concept of just a couple of things. They don't seem to understand that when you go into politics, it's like going into nursing or going into psychiatric care or something like that. It's a public service. Watch my lips. It's a public service. You're not entering it for private gain. Attached to that is supposed to be a thing called political integrity. They don't know anything about that. They're all pigs slopping at the public trough. That's what they are. All of them in that Fianna Fáil party. All pigs slopping at the public trough. And the two final things that none of them seem to have is, none of them seem to have any wisdom. Any wisdom. And none of them certainly have any common sense. The only sense they have is to know what to do with the right hand when it goes there. That's all they know about. But in the interim, you and me are going to pick up the little pieces for them and their mates. We'll talk to you later.